time for the Ron and Brian podcast. Get ready to fill your ears with the latest news, politics, current events, and whatever else we feel like talking about this week. And now, your hosts, Ron and Brian.
All right, and here we are, Sunday night, time for episode 201 of the Ron and Brian podcast. Brian, as always, fantastic to see you. How are you doing this Sunday night?
Baseball is back.
Yes,
baby. Yankees. Hold on.
Oh, Yankees. I was worried that you were pulling up your underwear.
Yankees. I am so ready. Baseball season is over. Football is done. Basketball winding down into the playoffs, but nobody cares. NHL hockey, nobody cares except for William Esquire, which means that this is the most exciting time of the year. Major League Baseball, Yankees off to a 2-0 start. As we're recording this, the Yankees are taking on the Boston Red Sox in Game 3 of this opening season series.
How good would a sweep of the Red Sox be right at the beginning of the season?
I'd love it. It
feels so good. The only thing that feels better, Brian, is a drink. Are we ready to tip it off here?
I think we are.
All right, drink of the week.
Drink of the week.
Na zdrowie.
Salud. Drink of the week. Pleasure.
Drink of the week. Drink of the week. Drink of the week.
All right, Brian, what did you bring to the table to drink this week?
I brought a little something. A little something from our good friends at Lagunitas Brewing Company. You know I'm all about those Jersey beers, even though I'm using a Coney Island glass. But I love me a good Jersey beer. So Lagunitas, our friends down there, I believe the Jersey Shore is where they're based out of.
I believe you may be correct.
I made that up. I thought they were Louisiana beer, actually.
We're going with Jersey this week.
All right, let's get a fact check, please. Lagunitas Brewing Company, a little something ale. Now, it's a truly unique style featuring a strong hop finish on a silky body. It's a hoppy pale wheat ale that is great for IPA fans, but so smooth that Hefeweizen fans will dig it too. It's 50% wheat, 50% barley, and 100% delicious hoppiness. Hints of bubblegum, pineapple, light cedar, and pine. Now, when I think of wanting to taste bubblegum and pineapple, the only after thing that could add to that trifecta is cedar and pine. Tons of tropical fruitiness, but none of the fruit. Coming in at a 7.5 ABV. Lagunitas from California. Thank you very much. Here we go. Down the chute.
There you go. I often refer to your body as silky too, so I guess you have that in common with the beer.
It's not really silky. I don't really. I'm not a big fan of moisturizing.
Understood. What do you think of the beer?
I also have a lot of body hair.
Yeah, that's a given.
It's pretty good. I wish I had another one. I've only got one of these.
Just the one. All right. Well, maybe you put that on your Christmas list. Maybe your birthday list.
Ron?
Yes.
What are you drinking this week?
So this week, one, I think I've brought this before because this is kind of a staple in my house as we get into the warmer weather. Dogfish Head Sequench Ale. This is their session sour. It is blissfully brewed with lime juice, lime peel, black limes, and sea salt. It clocks in at, I probably should have checked this beforehand, just a 4.9%. So easy drinking on a Sunday evening, very crushable, which we're getting back into the crushable beer season again. But just,
look at that. That's a beautiful thing.
Just delicious, Brian. One of my favorite beers of all time. Always have it in the beer fridge.
That makes me happy. But I don't think that when you call what you have behind you is a beer fridge. What you have in your basement is a shrine to hops and barley. Is the way I look at it. I mean, you've got at any given time over 100 beers.
It's well, I did prior to Friday night. It took a bit of a hit with the crew that was over. I know you were drinking with us for a little while, virtually, but yes, it was a rough Friday night around here.
Okay, so was it rougher in your home or in mine?
Oh, clearly in yours, without a doubt. You were drinking the whiskey, and I think that's where you went wrong.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
Anyway.
I'm also taking anti-anxiety medication, so that causes the alcohol to really kind of like hit even harder. It's almost, I would say the combination is more like a George Foreman 1-2.
Yes, without a doubt. All right, Brian, let's keep things moving here. It's time for Beef of the Week.
Ron and Brian's Beef of the Week.
Brian, what's bothering you this week?
The conservative right's obsession currently with Hunter Biden.
Okay, tell me about it.
I am sick and tired of what's going on over the past 2 weeks. Somehow, the Hunter Biden laptop now has reemerged as a talking point on the right. Somehow, they have now decided that a member of a political family who is using their status within that family to profit or to make how do I say this, less than legitimate business deals is now something that should become a something that can drag down a presidency. Meanwhile, the right literally indulged the Trump family and the Trump corporation and the Trump presidency for the past 4 years. Nobody on the right raised any questions when Mike Pence's entourage was in Ireland, I believe, and they traveled 2 hours out of their way to land at a Trump resort to put money into his pocket. Nobody complained when the Secret Service were charged market rate rents for rooms at Mar-a-Lago for 4 straight years. Nobody complained when the foreign governments were buying apartments on Trump properties or renting out entire floors of Trump hotels. The right didn't seem to have a problem with that. But Hunter Biden somehow, because he made a deal with a Chinese company, everything needs to come to a complete halt because of it. Fuck the right. That's my beef of the week.
All right, fair enough. We've often talked about the generalized hypocrisy in politics, and
sure,
again, just par for the course again this week.
Thank you for belittling my beef of the week by basically saying that it's something we've spoken about multiple times. And there's really not much to talk about.
It is always valid. Whatever you are saying is always valid.
You need to validate my feelings.
It may be, 2% less valid than my thoughts, but still valid nonetheless.
That was low.
Yeah, a little bit. Sorry, I apologize. Low. So what's that you say, Brian? What's my beef of the week this week?
I would like to know what your beef of the week is.
So my beef this week, and it's I've kind of gone back to this a time or two. It's my township, or actually more specifically our school district here. So I think I've mentioned in the past how ridiculously high our property and school taxes are here. So we went down to our local brewery on Thursday night for trivia night. Went down to Cheshire. You're a fan of Cheshire, correct?
I am a fan. It is under one roof. Not only is it a brewery, but it is a grocery store, and I think 2 different restaurants.
Got a couple different restaurants in there serving up some fantastic food.
Absolutely.
So this particular Thursday night was a fundraiser for our school district, and I'm thinking,
I love a good fundraiser.
But what the hell do they need to raise funds for when we are one of the highest taxed school districts in Philadelphia and the surrounding counties? They're not spending money on teachers. They're not spending money on building maintenance and upkeep. So why would they need to raise money when they're literally bringing in millions of dollars?
And what answer did you get when you asked that question?
I had there. I don't want to ask you because the people that were there were volunteers. I'm not going to shit on the volunteers because Lord knows no one that actually works in the administration does anything. So they're not going to be out to work these kind of fundraisers. And even people that work for the school district are leaving the school district. Like the superintendent of our local school district just left to go work and run the Philadelphia school district. Like, how bad does your school district need to be where someone is like, you know what, running the Philly school district's probably a little easier job.
That's
I'm gonna
good.
go we're gonna
That's a
take
good
care
point.
of that dumpster fire.
So let me get this straight. So your beef of the week is that your taxes are high and your tax dollars are not being spent appropriately, and you're not going to do anything about it.
Well, I mean, we are moving out of the township, so I mean, I guess that is.
You've been saying that for 2 years, Ron. I'll believe it when I see it.
It's not a buyer's market right now, Brian. It's very difficult to find good housing, but we will. And also, I mean, we need to make sure that there is space for you when you come visit. So that is a very key portion that needs to happen in the new house.
That's right. And I also, would it be possible to have like an in-law suite where I have a separate entrance?
I mean, I'll see what I can do. You know,
Right.
we're trying to shrink the square footage a bit, but I will see if we can at least get you your separate entrance.
If you want to shrink the square footage, the first thing you can do is take a cold shower, because that will absolutely cause some shrinkage.
There's definitely shrinkage there, yes.
Second thing is, if I cannot get a separate entrance, then all I do ask is that the second bedroom be right off of the master bedroom.
Yeah, that I'm trying to avoid also.
If there is anything that I enjoy more than staying over at your house, other than hanging out with your petting zoo, is to listen to the sweet, sweet sounds of you and Mrs. Ron making love as I am feet away in another room, naked. It is just, I mean, the beautiful sounds that both of you make. I mean, I didn't realize you were so vocal. Normally it's you hear the woman moaning, but it's actually, the first time I heard you and your wife making love, I remember I was just.
This time's gotta stop.
This is why we're actually looking for maybe like a detached garage with a apartment over the top of it that we can just kind of put you up there. Even a tree house, I think would be good for you.
Could you give me some binoculars? Will it face the back of the house so I could watch you?
I will make sure
window?
that there are no windows there.
Anyway, you could get me one of those 12-foot ladders that I could, climb up, Animal House style, and look in through the window.
I will. We'll definitely work on that. We'll see if we can make that one of the conditions of the sale.
Thank you, buddy.
Brian, can
Yes.
we make the special introduction of our brand new cast member here on the podcast?
Yes, I think now's the right time. Drum roll.
The Ron and Brian world premiere.
All right, those of you that follow us on social media already saw this announcement a couple days ago, but we do have a brand new mascot here on the Ron and Brian podcast. Yes, my wife and I, we adopted a new dog the other day, brought her home. So if we can introduce new mascot Piper. She is a 5-year-old Pekingese that we got from the Women's Animal Center down in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. So obviously, as you can see from this photo, settling in nicely into her new home.
Now, do we know where she? What was the home-like situation before she joined your home?
The home situation, she was living with a family. She was living with another dog, a couple of cats, and a kid. Unfortunately, the family apparently lost their home and their new apartment. The landlord did not allow pets, so they needed to surrender Piper here.
Were you able to get their email address so you could send them photos of their family dog enjoying a better life now?
They do not provide contact information for the previous owner.
Did you let Piper know not to get too accustomed to the massive square footage of your current home, that you do plan on shrinking it? And do you think she will have some level of PTSD going into the smaller home, being like, oh no, once again, I'm going to get kicked out?
I mean, she's not a big dog to begin with, so I think she'll be okay.
Janelle has a good question over here. How is Piper dealing with the cats?
So Piper likes cats, actually. So thankfully, she lived with them before. The cats, I would say, not so much into Piper just yet.
Really?
They are finally, one of them will hang out with Piper now.
Which
the
one?
other, Tallulah will come down and
Okay.
hang out. The others have finally gotten to the point where they can be on the same level of the house as her, just not with her being around. So I think
Got it.
they were fine with Paisley, so I think they'll be fine with Piper.
Well, she's bringing a lot younger energy.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
is.
Paisley was what? Paisley was what, 18?
Roughly 18,
Yeah.
22, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. She had lived a very long and blessed life. Now, how will you feel? I mean, this dog is 5, correct?
Correct.
You had Paisley for what, 2 years?
4 years.
So 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you going to handle it in 4 years when you euthanize this dog?
Our hope is that she will live much longer than that. That is.
I thought you just got tired of Paisley and euthanized her. I didn't realize. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
So,
I thought that it was just Ron and his wife like to you. I thought it was just. Never mind.
Yeah, that's not quite.
I misread the room.
Understood.
I'm sorry, Ron.
But we got very fortunate that we were able to rescue a Pekingese locally, because my wife was literally looking across the entire country for a dog.
Sure, of course.
Like she would come to me and be like, "Hey, can we? Would it be a problem if we had to fly to Little Rock for a weekend and pick up a dog? Would it be a problem if we had to go out to like Denver and get this dog? Minneapolis." She actually, the closest she was actually communicating with the rescue in Brooklyn. So I was like, all right, that, and then it just happened. Piper just happened to pop up on Pet Finder the other day, only 30 minutes away. We filled out an application. They were like, listen, it's first come, first served. So we ran down there during lunch on Friday, and less than an hour later, we were coming home with Piper.
Now, has she pooped or peed in the house? Is she housebroken?
She is very housebroken. She had a little accident in her crate last night because she had an upset stomach. But she is like extremely well trained. Does well on a leash. Great in a crate. Very much house trained. She's done all her business in the backyard. So I think when she gets settled into the house, I think she'll be very happy here.
Now, at what point does your wife remake your office into a playroom for Piper, relegating you back to the dining room table for all work purposes?
I mean,
How long?
think, I've got a couple of weeks, I think. I'll be going away for business, so it's very possible I could come home and find that, this has just been, all my stuff will be out on the back deck.
I believe I'm expecting that. Your wife loves her dogs more than she loves you.
And she's already getting a little antsy because the dog seems to be showing some preference to me over her. Which, I mean, can you blame her?
I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I love your wife. Don't get me wrong. I love your wife. But, there's no comparison to the way I feel about you.
Understood. Hey, can we, since we're doing new things, should we roll out our new weekly bit? Or, we'll see.
Yes.
Weekly. We don't even know how long it's going to be. This is a little something that we like to call
Who Blocked Brian This Week?
Yes. Who blocked Brian this week? As many of you know, Brian is he's all over social media. He is Justin Bieber level. He is T Swift level on the internet, on the social media, and at time to time, he's controversial. People don't like what he has to say, and sometimes some high-profile names will block him on a social media platform. Brian, do you want the photo yet, or do you want to give a little build-up before we show who blocked Brian this week?
Well, okay. So I have a tendency of opening up Twitter every now and then and just hitting reply to tweets, random tweets, one-liners, literally things that just have absolutely, I just feel like fucking with accounts. So one day, I think it was earlier this week, a certain Hollywood celebrity posted what seemed to be a very innocuous, is that a word?
Yeah, it's a word.
Is that like one of those?
You used it correctly, actually.
Yeah, an innocuous tweet. Just seemingly, I didn't really understand what the tweet was about or in reference to. So I tweeted a reply that I thought made it a little bit more relevant, brought things to a more current state. Do you have a copy of the exchange?
I do not, unfortunately. You did not request a copy of the exchange.
Can I send you one quickly?
If you have it in a photo, yeah.
I do have it in a photo. So as we were, hold on, I'm going to find this thing because, I'm not going to say that it was like the high point of my week, but I'm going to say that it was the high point of my week. Ron, I'm going to put it right here in the chat on Messenger. I will send it to you there. You should be able to pull it up. Do you have it?
Hold on. I gotta get in there.
That's okay. Anyway, so the beauty of it. So I posted this a reply and completely forgot about it. The next day, I got a notification from Twitter that somebody had actually liked my reply, and I was like, "Reply to what?" So I clicked on the link, and it opened up the Twitter app on my phone, and I saw my reply. And then I could not see the original tweet that I was replying to, and I didn't understand. And then I clicked on the profile page, and lo and behold, I got the glorious message that this person had blocked me. Do we have it, Ron?
You
Give me the photo. Give me the photo that we do have lined up.
I got it. Hold on. I got your photo now.
I got your photo right here, you little biatch.
There we go. So that is, I'm going to have to take the banner down so people can see.
Take it down.
But that is, looks like Alec Baldwin.
That's right. So Alec Baldwin, out of nowhere, posts, "Is anyone surprised?" ?
In reference to what exactly?
No clue. No, I have not the faintest. This was Tuesday. So at some point later on, keep in mind, 618 people liked his tweet. "Is anyone surprised?" I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Surprised about what? So I just simply replied, "You killed some lady," which I felt was like incredibly disrespectful because I didn't even remember the woman's name. Didn't even bother Googling it. Put so little thought into that tweet, replying to Alec Baldwin. And lo and behold, Ron, do you have the photo of confirming that he blocked me?
I do not.
Jesus fucking Christ. You had all week. All week. You knew we were going to talk about this bit. You knew it.
I do have the photo that he sent to you in your DM, though.
There you go.
Which seems threatening to me, especially considering what happened when he sends you a photo of him holding a gun. Seems problematic.
So I am currently blocked by Alec Baldwin on Twitter. That's who blocked Brian this week.
Who blocked Brian this week?
Exactly.
You have to tell me what website is that again?
I forget. I'll have to send it to you. But yes, we found a new toy. There is a website that will take famous names and you can have them say whatever you want.
I think I could have a lot of fun with that. Lot of fun. Is there one with Kanye? Is really
more than likely
one with Kanye. Okay. What else do we have, Ron?
We've managed to avoid talking about this for weeks and weeks, but COVID,
racism,
that too, but COVID has made a solid return, with COVID cases rising, I think in about half of the states of the country. Numbers, are increasing. Some of the bigger ones, New York is up 7% in a 2-week change. Massachusetts up heavily, and Washington, D.C. If we look at some smaller growth, a lot of Northeast, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. So we've got about 28 states right now seeing increases in COVID numbers. The Omicron subvariant, known as BA2, now seems to be the dominant strain circulating around the U.S., accounting for almost 3 out of every 4 cases.
Glorious. It's coming back. We're not done yet, people.
No, not at all, unfortunately. And then a lot of prominent people got COVID this past week. Nancy Pelosi testing positive for COVID-19. Adam Schiff also, he was among
Schiff.
He was among 14 people to contract COVID at Washington's annual Gridiron Club dinner, which is now being referred to as a super spreader event. Sarah Jessica Parker testing positive for COVID. Brian, I know you were very upset by this. You had tickets to her Broadway show, Plaza Suite.
Front row.
That show has been shut down after she tested positive.
I had actually purchased front row seats to the performance this Tuesday evening simply because I wanted to make sure that I got her and Matthew Broderick, her husband. I wanted to get as much spit on my face as possible. So I did get front row seats, and to have it canceled this way is just such a it just hurts.
And Matthew Broderick also tested positive for COVID-19.
Well, fortunately for Matthew Broderick, he now can spend the day in bed, wrapped up in a blanket, while his mother and father go off to work.
Doing a little Ferris Bueller reference there.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you might tie together the fact that both Alec Baldwin and Matthew Broderick have killed somebody.
Well, so is Caitlyn Jenner, but we're not going to talk about that.
But we don't have a news story about Caitlyn Jenner.
Haley Berry killed somebody.
Halle Berry?
No, I call her Haley.
You call her Haley?
Yeah. Listen, once you killed somebody and got away with it because you're a Hollywood star, I will intentionally mispronounce your name.
Okay. I mean, I can't really say anything about name pronunciation because, as we all know, I'm very bad at it.
Documentary.
Shanghai. Streets of Shanghai are completely empty as China imposes the strictest lockdown of the pandemic on the most populous city in the world. 26 million residents, and photos all over the place online this past week of empty streets. Excuse me.
Well, the real question is this. I mean, it's it's the disconnect that's going on in this world right now. The pandemic is over in America. We are done with it. Mm-hmm. We have officially announced that we do not care anymore. Omicron raged in December. People, got it in mass. Hospitalizations did not dramatically increase. Deaths did not dramatically increase. So we all decided that we're done with it. Meanwhile, in China, according to Donald Trump, in China, they are literally shutting down their almost capital cities in their provinces because they want to ensure that this thing does not spread. Now, keep in mind, the numbers that I saw recently were 6 out of 10 people are testing positive, but also it is this Omicron strain which leaves many people asymptomatic.
Right.
So the question really is, are these shutdowns that are taking place in China justified? Or is this population control by a socialist government that wants to just basically control all aspects of human life by their citizens?
So you're saying it's less of a health situation and more of a controlling your citizenships type situation.
Oh, I have no idea. I live in Queens, so I have no idea what's going on in Shanghai. I'm dependent on the liberal media to tell me what's going on in this world. And what's really going on in this world is that the Yankees have won 2 straight games against the Boston Red Sox, and tonight they're going for 3.
And Brian, it wouldn't be a new month if there wasn't a new variant of COVID. Now there is apparently a, quote, Frankenstein-style new Omicron subvariant spreading in the UK. It is a mix of the Omicron BA1 strain and the more stealth BA2 form. They're referring to this as the XE variant. And some experts fear that the mutation may be the most contagious form yet of COVID-19.
But what are the symptoms? What are the hospitalization rates? What are the death rates? That is what we need to talk about.
Well, and so far it is too early to say whether it causes more severe illness or evades vaccines, but it does have a high community growth rate of about 10% transmission. higher than some of the other variants out there.
Do you know what does not have a high community growth rate?
And what is that?
The square footage of your home when you move somewhere else.
That is true. I thought you were going to, say, make an Alec Baldwin reference.
No. He's dead to me.
Like, who doesn't have a high community growth rate? Any cinematographer that works on an Alec Baldwin film.
Ooh.
Too much?
See, he was in Hunt for Red October, so he's a legend to me. That movie I will watch countless, wherever it is in the movie. It could be
Real
like the
quick,
last movie.
I don't want to belabor the point. Your Mount Rushmore of Alec Baldwin movies.
Oh, Glengarry Glen Ross.
Okay.
Definitely Hunt for Red October.
Okay.
What was the one where he was having sex with the underage girl?
I think that was a private video he had.
Why am I blanking on Alec Baldwin movies?
I don't know.
Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona. Okay.
And I really can't think of anything. What's the one with Demi Moore where he was where he was on the mob?
I don't remember that one.
I didn't like that movie one bit. It was just it was so slow and it was just overdrawn. I was not a huge fan of it. No. Let's actually come up with some good ones. What was he in?
So
definitely. Okay, when he was in Blue Jasmine, Woody Allen movie, I loved him in that. To Rome with Love. He had a small role in Rock of Ages. Oh my God, he's done so much shit.
He's done a lot. He
was very good in
part of his career where he's just done garbage.
Hold on, he was very good in The Departed. I mean, that movie was not made because of him, but he was very good in The Departed when he did the Boston accent.
Okay. I would say, so I'd agree with you on Glengarry Glen Ross. And again, it's interesting because he is in the movie for 5-6 minutes? And
at most.
He is in a movie with Pacino, De Niro, Jack Lemmon, Alan Arkin, Kevin Spacey, Ed O'Neill, but completely steals the entire movie.
Jonathan Pryce?
Could be. Yes. Yeah, he's the guy that Pacino tries to sell real estate to. So I would agree with you.
Where did you learn your craft?
I would agree with you, Glengarry Glen Ross. I would say Beetlejuice, another great Alec Baldwin movie.
I didn't think he was that great in it.
Really? All right. Well, agree to disagree. I would go also Hunt for Red October.
Sure.
Good one. I think, we're stuck on that fourth one. Like, he's been in decent movies. Is it possible?
He really hasn't. So much shit. So much garbage. I would throw in, only because I personally have an affection to The Cooler in 2003 with William Macy.
Yeah.
Where it's an old school down and out Las Vegas story about William Macy, who plays a man who has such bad luck in life that he is hired by a casino to interact with people who are on a roll so that his bad luck rubs off on them and they stop winning and they start losing. Baldwin plays just this hardened casino executive. That is actually one of my favorite Baldwin movies.
What was the movie where he was the surgeon? And he's like, I don't have a God complex. I am God.
I just watched that just the other day.
That Malice? I think William Esquire just put that up.
Yeah, that was 1993's Malice, which I never saw.
That was a good one. So that would be my 4. Interesting.
He was on Nip Tuck. Did you ever watch Nip Tuck on TV?
I did not, no.
That was one of those really interesting shows that just got so fucking strange. Like, it started off with like these two hip, cool Florida, it might have been LA, I don't remember, plastic surgeons who literally were just all about like the superficial and whatnot. And, the personality clashes. But then next thing I know, they started bringing in new characters because the show was getting stale. Then at one point they had a kid who had one of those what do you call those? Lobster claw hands.
Okay.
And it was like a whole 2-season story arc of them trying to create a hand. It was very strange. And then I stopped losing interest in it.
You know what was the only thing that's worse than the final seasons of Nip Tuck, Brian?
What?
It's when you almost lose your penis due to
that's-
matted pubic hair.
Yeah,
And
yep,
that
yep, yep,
is
yep.
a story that we have on the list this week. It was in a urology case reports study talking about a gentleman that came into the emergency room suffering from hair tourniquet syndrome, which there really is a syndrome for everything.
I didn't know that had an actual name.
That is which a hair or thread becomes tightly tangled around the genitals, fingers, or other extremities. This typically affects children, but the affliction can cut off the blood flow, requiring patients to undergo surgery and even amputation.
First off, how is this happening to children when they don't have pubic hair? But they also don't have the receptors, according to JoJo. So, so we'll put that aside. Now, if only there was a way that this could have been avoided, and there actually is a way, which brings us to our first legitimate advertisement. This is a real sponsor of the week, people. This is not a joke. We are not kidding around here. This is a Manscaped.
Yes.
Manscaped. Proud sponsors of the Ron and Brian. You know, Ron, when manscaping, you have to use the right tools for the job. And trust me, your balls will thank you. We've actually been using Manscaped for months already. We have owned a couple of their products like the Lawnmower 3.0 and their ball deodorant, which was one of your personal favorites, Ron, because it's the only thing that has saved you from itchy balls. Well, Manscaped was kind enough to send us their Perfect Package 4.0, which includes their new and improved Lawn Trimmer 4.0, along with other liquid formations for your manscaping routines. You love manscaping, right, Ron?
I do. I very much, I don't have a ton of body hair, but what I do have, I keep Manscaped.
Well, the Lawnmower 4.0 is the only water-resistant trimmer made with skin-safe technology, helping you avoid the absolute suffering that comes from common grooming accidents. It even has its own charging dock for convenience and ease of use with a battery that lasts up to 90 minutes on a single charge. The package also includes their Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, which you said you're a fan of, and their Crop Reviver Ball Toner. Now, I know that sounds absolutely hilarious, but trust me, it works. I bought it myself. So the Crop Reviver Ball Toner, it's like an oil that you massage into your testicles after you trim with the lawnmower, so it keeps the skin from chafing. And also, to keep it super convenient, as I get back into the copy, subscribers will get a new replacement blade refill delivered straight to their door every 3 months. And best of all, for a limited time only, subscribers will get 2 free gifts. Thanks to the Ron and Brian podcast. They're going to get the Shed Travel Bag and Manscaped's anti-chafing boxer briefs. Click on the link that we are about to announce, and you will get yourself a 20% off your first order, your 2 free gifts, and free international shipping when you use the code RONSBALLS at manscaped.com. That's promo code RONSBALLS at manscaped.com, so they know that we sent you there. It helps the Ron and Brian podcast. It helps Manscaped, and it helps your balls. Once again, 20% off on your first purchase if you use the promo code RONSBALLS. Thank you, Manscaped.
It potentially could have helped this 57-year-old Geelong native who had reported to a family doctor after suffering extreme pain and swelling of his penis tip for 2 weeks. Again, I would feel I would go to a doctor sooner, but this guy, no. So they apparently, the guy was uncircumcised and they neglected to check under the hood, if you will. They treated him with steroids, which did not help. So after they finally examined the foreskin, they found a, quote, complex hair tourniquet of short matted hair that had horrifyingly encircled the area beneath the penis head like a miniature choker.
Oh my God.
So many of those words make me uncomfortable. So thankfully they were able to take care of it, and he did not need any removal of his penis. They did have to remove some dead tissue, but again, he did need to take care of the recovery properly to make sure that.
Can you imagine how soft his genitalia was as soon as like they had done the manscaping? I mean, like, just imagine the chafing, like all of like the skin damage that was taking place down there. Then they started with probably some scissors. I imagine they worked their way up to maybe a scalpel, maybe a little bit of a razor. And then it was just then his entire genital area was completely smooth. If only he could go to manscaped.com, use the promo code Ron's Balls, and get 20% off his first purchase.
All right. Let's go down to, can we go down to Florida for a bit, Brian? Because
I love Florida. You know
we
that.
haven't visited Florida in a while. And we talked about, did we talk about this story on the Patreon or the regular episode of the kid that died falling off of the amusement park ride?
I think that was the regular podcast.
That was the regular podcast. Yeah. Well, there was a woman that was in the news a lot, saying that she was a relative of the teen that had died. She called herself Shay Johnson in interviews with multiple news outlets. She said again she was the cousin of Tyree Sampson, who died after slipping out of his seat on the free fall ride at the Icon Park in Orlando. But come to find out that she was not related to the kid at all. Her real name is Louisina Lavonia Browning. She is Orlando resident with a lengthy rap sheet and had been working at Flash Dancers, an adult entertainment club in the city.
Never been there. Don't know. Nope. Nothing.
Never spent $900 on her.
Flash Dancers. Is that the one in Times Square?
That's in Orlando, so I don't feel that it's in Times Square.
Oh, so then I've never been there.
So no connection. Also turns out that she is awaiting trial on felony arson and criminal mischief charges for allegedly setting her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend's car on fire.
Stop that. You got to do that sentence over again, because you lost me.
All right.
You lost me, Ron. And normally I hang on every word you say, but there was an ex-boyfriend, then there was a new boyfriend, and I got confused.
So she is accused of setting fire to a car. The car belonged to a woman who was the new girlfriend of her ex-boyfriend.
See, I think that's a bitch move. And I know we've talked about it multiple times, but the new girlfriend has she should have no allegiance to you, but your ex should. Like when people get cheated on, I don't understand why they go after and attack the person that their partner is cheating with. When that person has done nothing to you, they simply just met someone and started up a relationship, albeit maybe it's a one-night stand. Doesn't have to be a long-term relationship.
Right.
But the real source of your aggression should be the person you're in the relationship with.
Agreed. Or out of the relationship with. I mean, you shouldn't have aggression towards anybody, really.
Well, I mean, the way I think of it is this. Say your wife and I decided to participate in sexual activity while you were out walking the dog. Say you like, this is just pure hypothetical
conjecture. I get it.
So I come down to visit you for the weekend, and your lovely wife, who I simply adore, sits there and says, "Hey, Ron, you should really take the dog out for a walk, because she hasn't been out in a couple hours, and she seems to have a preference for you." And now you sit there and say, "Okay, hey, Brian, would you like to, take a walk with me?" And I'm like, I am going to hang tight. I don't really spend a lot of time, one-on-one with Mrs. Ron. So I'm just going to hang tight with her. Then So you leash up the dog, you take the dog out for a walk. Now it's recently rained, so all the normal natural odors of the grass that the dog is used to at this point has been washed away. So this is a long walk. We're talking at least 4.5 minutes that you're out there walking the dog. Now you come back
4 minutes
after
longer
walking.
than you normally need.
That's at least 2.5 minutes more than I need. Now you come back and you find clothing on the stairs leading up to the master bedroom. Your wife and I, in delecto flagrante. How close did I get to that one?
I think you got closer than I think any of us would have expected.
All right, and we are engaged now. In that moment, who do you physically attack? Do you physically attack me? Do you physically attack your wife?
Probably you.
Oh,
I feel the betrayal more from you.
is that because of the 51% ownership of the podcast to 49 that you felt that I should have fealty towards you at all times?
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's probably a little bit of that playing into it.
Do you think it's also because you think you can get away with beating me and go scot-free, but if you were to try to beat your wife, you know that you will lose?
The optics would be bad. The optics would be very bad. Well, let's go back to this this case here. This criminal genius, Shay Johnson. So she sets the girlfriend's car on fire. Police, of course, go to see her. She claims that she had been in Daytona Beach all night. Now she had burned and blistered legs that she'd had treated at the hospital, but she was like, "Oh no, that was I got in a car crash and climbed out of a burning car." So they're like, "Oh yeah, sounds reasonable." But they confiscate her phone, on which it showed that she had Googled both the girlfriend's address as well as, quote, "What is the best thing to set a car on fire? Lighter fluid, gas."
Has she never heard of incognito windows? How do you search that? Oh my gosh. So you're saying she's not the criminal mastermind that she aspired to?
I think not. But how like horrible of an individual do you need to be to like try and partake in such a horrible incident such as this kid's death and get some FaceTime out of it?
Oh, disgusting. Just a disgusting human being.
Now, staying in Florida.
I hope that her pubic hair cuts off her the circulation to her left leg. I hope it wraps around the tree trunk thigh that she's got. I've never seen her thighs. I have no idea what shape they're in. But I hope her pubic hair grows so long that it wraps around her thigh, cuts off blood circulation. She needs to have it amputated.
Listen, I think we learned on our last After Dark episode that Brazilian waxing is the way to go. I mean, if
we also learned that you can be beat, which is something I never thought I would see again. Congratulations to you, Janelle, for winning the Can You Beat Ron game for March 2022. The first person to beat Ron and to have earned the $25 donation once a month, people. If you join our Patreon, if you haven't already, it is we do an extra half an hour. It's behind the paywall. We put stories there that we don't want our family to know about. We don't want our friends to know about. We don't want YouTube to know about it. We don't want Facebook to know about it. We don't want Twitter.
This time's gotta stop.
But the idea is the fact that it's an extra half an hour of content that you only can get if you are a Patreon subscriber for as little as $5 a month. It helps offset the costs that Ron and I have to cover throughout the year to make sure that this show stays free. So the podcast stays free. We do an After Dark on Patreon so that to cover the cost of the show. You get swag like stickers, buttons, vests, tote bags, baseball caps, shout outs.
This time's gotta stop.
And it helps us.
Rare double. This has got to stop on one promo.
And once a month, well, that's what happens when I have a 7.5 ABV beer on an empty stomach. Also, you also get once a month, we invite our Patreon subscribers at the silver or higher level to come onto the show. We do what we call a pajama party. It is the last Sunday night of every month. Patreons, come on, join the show. It's a nice little family, nice little welcoming, safe space that we've set up. We play Can You Beat Ron, which will be which I have to come up with an April game. But they're fun, and we can and we make a $25 taxable, tax-free, regardless. We make a donation. Speaking of which, I need to do my taxes. We make a donation. If you can beat Ron, we'll make a $25 charitable donation. That's the word I was going for.
There you go.
To the organization of your choice, regardless of their tax status. So it could be the Ben Salem pet adoption
Women's Animal Center.
There we go. You said the Women's Animal Center?
Yes.
Why are women? What's the connection with women?
I have no idea. That's just the name of it.
Are men allowed to show up there? Or do you do you get like beat?
We do not. So sticking in Florida, a Florida teen was killed and two of his pals arrested after they took turns shooting live rounds at each other while wearing armored vests. Only in Florida.
Now that's a Florida story here for you. And I think that, if we were to say, okay, people, there's 3 teenagers. They've got their hands on some type of body armor. I'm assuming it's a bulletproof vest. It's not part of the story. Upon getting the body armor, they decide we're going to test this out. Let's just start shooting at each other. One of them dies from the gunshot wound because obviously the kids miss. And they probably hit the body part that's not covered with the body armor. And the kid fucking dies. Boo-hoo, tragedy in Florida. Was there any doubt that this story took place in Florida? I would have also said Texas.
Either or.
Texas could have been in Texas. Yeah. But this is definitely a Florida story.
So Joshua Vinning was taking shots at Christopher Broad, age 16. Christopher was rushed to a local hospital where he died from his injuries. So Vinning has been charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child by a firearm while someone else participating, Colton Whittle, he is being charged with providing false information to law enforcement.
Never lie to the cops. Listen, people, we are now 52 minutes into this episode. If there's anything that you're going to walk away from this episode learning, as in a piece of information, never lie to the police. You don't have to answer their questions. You can say, I want an attorney. You can say, I am unsure. You can say, I don't understand your question. But don't say, I wasn't there if you were there. Because now they got you on a trumped up charge.
Right.
Now they've got you lying to the police. Never lie to the police. You don't have to answer.
Brian, I think we have a couple of abortion stories that you wanted to cover this week.
I thought we were going to keep those stories, but then decided to drop them at the 9-week mark because we just didn't want those stories.
So wrong.
What?
Why don't you? What was the first one? I'm looking. I thought
first story. Texas. Fuck Texas. Fuck Texas so fucking much. Texas. There is a young woman. We had her name. She lives in Starr County. She has been charged with an illegal abortion. Her name is Lizelle Herrera. She is currently in custody in the Starr County Detention Center, faces a bond of $500,000 for performing a self-induced abortion on herself. The charge of murder against Herrera is that she intentionally and knowingly caused the death of an individual by self-induced abortion. She is the first woman to be arrested under Texas's recently enacted strictest abortion law in the country, which encouraged private citizens to sue individuals or organizations that help people get abortions after 6 weeks of gestation. I mean, it takes me at least 12 weeks to gestate, but apparently in Texas, they only give you 6. This woman needs to be walking free. We need to support this woman and fuck Texas so goddamn much.
Now, a quick and surprising update. This story literally came out about 15 minutes ago. Starr County District Attorney Gocha Allen Ramirez said earlier today that he has filed a motion to dismiss the murder charge against Herrera. He said that, quote, that the sheriff's department, quote, did their duty in investigating the incident brought to their attention by the reporting hospital. He said, however, this is not a criminal matter under Texas law.
Great. You know what? I will celebrate when those charges are actually dropped. It is the rights attack on women's health. Specifically, obviously the most obvious is the right to an abortion, but their attack on not just the abortion, but just women's health in general. They are aggressively going after it over the past 4 years, and seemingly each state down in the South, and I'll call it the South because they're all fucktards to me. It is almost a competition of who can be the strictest, who can put through a law that is going back to what was the Midwives' Tale? What was that show that I've
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale. Yeah, that's where they want to go in the South. And they know it's going to go into the courts. They're okay with it. This is all posturing for political purposes so they can get the religious rights vote. The worst thing that happened in the 80s was the Republican Party embracing the religious right. Nut jobs. It's fucked up this country so bad. But whatever we can do as liberal Americans on the elitist coasts to stop the rest of this country from doing what they want. Fuck them all.
Meanwhile, Spain showing that they are much more progressive. In the coming days, there will be a new law published banning the intimidation or harassment of women entering abortion clinics. The law comes into force when it is published in the Government Gazette, possibly next week. It passed 154 to 105 votes for change to the penal code in Spain, where abortions are available for free in the public health service through the 14th week of pregnancy. The legal changes mean that anyone harassing a woman going into an abortion clinic will be committing a crime that can be punished with up to 1 year in prison.
Spain, you got it right. I never thought I would say it, but Spain, and you know me, you know how I feel about the Barcelonans. Spain has it right. I listen. I don't want to say that I'm pro-abortion, but I am pro-abortion in a lot of cases.
And I think at the very least, you are pro-women's choice regardless.
I believe that there are a lot of I believe that women have the right to do what it happens to their body. And I do not believe abortion is murder. I do not believe that abortion is something that is part of the religious agenda. It is women's health, and what I find so fucking frightening is the way that the religious right across the globe is attacking women's health under the guise of being anti-abortion. But really, a lot of these are just are geared towards restricting women's ability to get medical care in a lot of places. And they do it seemingly without concern.
Yeah. I don't know. It's, well, again, like you said, Spain got it right this time around.
I mean, it's no different, Ron, than you not letting Mrs. Ron go to an OBGYN. I mean, she's told me that for years she has been trying to make appointments, and you cancel them on her when she's working, because you just don't understand.
I just don't understand.
You just don't understand, Ron.
Brian, we understand that you are a huge DC fan, love all of the DC films. So I have to imagine these stories that have been coming out about Ezra Miller, who played the Flash in the Justice League films. He's had a bit of a rough month. He's over in Hawaii, and since March 7th has had the police called on him 10 times. Most recently being arrested at a Hawaii karaoke bar where he yelled obscenities grabbed a microphone from a singing woman and lunged at a man playing darts. Apparently took umbrage with people singing the Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper ballad "Shallow," which, if you don't get it right, I can understand.
Did you refer to Ezra as he?
I'm sorry. I referred to him as he. His preferred pronouns are they, them. My apologies.
They, them. Yes. So they are not on my radar whatsoever. They were on my radar when I saw Trainwreck with Amy Schumer 12 years ago. And they, Ezra Miller, I didn't know had a name. I did not know that they had a career. And I've not been, I thought that Ben Affleck was the Flash.
Ben Affleck played Batman in the Justice League.
But wasn't Ben Affleck the Flash?
He was. He also played Daredevil at one point.
That's who I'm thinking of. So what's the Flash?
The Flash is the guy that can run fast.
That's not Daredevil?
No, Daredevil is the blind guy.
Listen, I'm Marvel all day, every day. Marvel. So what goes on in the DC League?
Universe, let's say.
Maybe. I'm unaware of. It's not my thing. I'm all about Marvel.
Well, he's also so going back to Miller, also accused with breaking into the bedroom of a couple that he was staying with and threatening them. So he's they have seem to be going through some challenges. So, but
wait a second.
Yes,
hold on. If you're invited into someone's home and you break into their bedroom and threaten them, that's a crime?
Yes, it is, apparently.
Is that also a crime in Pennsylvania? Can you check on that? Because
I'm pretty sure it's yes. I think were you to do that, it would be an issue.
Wow.
And
talk about the right, stealing our privileges, our ability to do American things. If you invite me into your home, I believe that invitation automatically extends into your bedroom.
No, that it does not. Anyway, Warner Brothers also announcing that they have paused all projects involving Ezra Miller at this point.
Now, I thought Mac Miller's second album was way better than his first.
But this is not Mac Miller. This is Ezra Miller. Can we talk about Albert Pujols before we run out of time here?
Yes. Albert Pujols, Major League Baseball player, future Hall of Famer, if you will, member of the 500 home run club, member of the 285 batting average lifetime club, member of the Married Till Death Do Us Part club.
Not so much.
No.
He announced on Monday that he and his wife, Deidre, are splitting up days after she underwent successful surgery to remove a brain tumor. Not surprisingly, many bad things said about Albert on social media after this got out.
The timing is poor. Now, keep in mind, it is possible, and I'm not saying definite, but it's possible that he married the tumor and he didn't really marry her. So once she had the tumor removed, therefore, he, just did not want to be married to the rest of her.
Well, they were married in 2000. So I feel like he was probably married to her. Just a thought. And real quick, before we end up, let's do an Easter themed story, because Easter we'll be doing our next show on Easter, because we don't really celebrate Christian holidays here on the Ron and Brian podcast. Correct. Uncovered truth about the Cadbury's Creme egg came out on Channel 4 over in the UK, apparently finding out that there was a ton of child labor abuses behind those treats, linking directly to the Cadbury supply chain. The investigation in Ghana, West Africa, by reporter Anthony Barnett. He met children as young as 10 performing backbreaking work on cocoa farms in the blazing heat for up to 9 hours a day. Small children wielding 3-foot machetes, hacking through tough weeds with no protective clothing, cracking open cocoa pods with long, sharp knives, and many of them sustaining serious injuries for the hazardous work. Also finding groups of farmers who were paid less than 2 pounds a day for the cocoa that they sold to Mondelez, the U.S. company that now owns Cadbury.
But what were they paid per pound? You said they were paid in pounds. You just said they were paid in pounds, but how much were they paid per pound?
Pounds are the unit of the monetary.
I gotcha. Aha. Aha.
Here's one thing that I've never gotten is why people eat Cadbury cream eggs. Like, it seems like one of the more disgusting candies out there.
Okay, Ron, this is what you're doing wrong. The whole purpose of the Cadbury cream egg is you slightly break the chocolate outside in half.
Okay.
Then what you do is you spread the two sides slightly across, coming in with your index finger to some.
This time's gotta stop.
I just felt that was going to go sideways. Brian, favorite.
You could also go sideways on it. It's not just an up and down method.
Favorite.
It's really personal preference on how you eat your Cadbury cream egg.
Brian,
what?
Favorite Easter candy?
Oh, I'm a piece of trash, so I'm gonna go with the marshmallow rabbit with chocolate on the outside.
All right. I'm a fan of Peeps. I don't know what it is. It's I like the marshmallow.
How do I play the "This Has Got to Stop" song right now? Because that is just, how dare you? You like Peeps?
I do.
That is disgusting.
What the egg-shaped Reese's peanut butter cups? Yes.
Hold on. What do you like about a Peep?
It's just, I like.
This time's gotta stop.
You finally figured out. Episode 201, you figured out how to make it work.
So proud of you. They're disgusting. It's just it's off flavored marshmallows.
That's fine. I mean, listen, you like chocolate covered marshmallow, so
I do. I love it.
Yeah. There you go. Anything else, Brian? I think we've done some good work here today.
All right. Listen, it's been a great show. We've had some laughs. We've shed a few tears. This is just this is a beautiful thing. Episode 201, they said we'd never do it. We did it. Go Yankees. Go April. Keep powering through it, people. Life only gets better. Right. There's some rough moments, but when days are dark and life gets tougher, your real friends will be there to tell you that it will be okay, to ask you if there's anything they can do. And your fake friends will stand from a distance to see if you make it.
I feel like you're reading from a celebrity's Instagram account.
Quite possibly.
All right. Well, again, if you are part of our Patreon, you will be able to join us for After Dark. If not, go to ronandbrianpodcast.com, click in the upper right-hand corner to look into becoming a patron and joining us each and every week. Otherwise,
how about the show?
We will be back next Sunday, Easter Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Brian, anything else before we roll out of here?
Love you, buddy.
All right. Love you too, my friend. We will catch you all next week.
Thank you for joining us on the Ron and Brian podcast. We're live each week on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can find prior episodes, links to our social media, and everything else Ron and Brian at Ron and Brian Podcast.